Welcome into the Jon and Lebo show. Taping this Wednesday, October 18th. John Sokoloff, joined as always by the fabulous Alex Lebowitz. Alex,
Did you say you broke up there? It sounded like you said you sound like you called me Fat Licks Lebowitz. Was that a jab?
the
Oh,
fabulous.
okay. It mushed together because your connection was not all right there. Okay,
That's
that's
fair.
better than Licks Lebowitz.
Fat,
That'd be
fatless is good, right?
that's a good
You lack fat.
Fat Lex. It's like just a play on my first name. It's nothing to do with being not fat. It's saying I'm fat. I'm sorry. We're going off topic. How's your week been?
It's been great, man. This is the best week of sports right now. These last few weeks with the new CBA, obviously the NBA starting a little bit earlier. Like instead of that around Halloween, the preseason shorter, the season starts earlier, more days between games. So obviously, probably guys will rest less. That's probably not the complete motive, but it looks a lot better. Anyway, we got the NBA, MLB, NFL, and NHL all in these next couple of weeks, which is awesome. But the NBA started last night. Cavs, Celtics, Kyrie's return to Cleveland. Definitely weird seeing him in a Celtics jersey, I'll say that. And within the first 5 minutes, Gordon Hayward, going for a rebound, broke his leg. And he's probably done, if not for the whole season, for a huge chunk of it. And that's a huge blow to the Celtics. I thought they looked good and rallied back late against Cleveland at the end of that game, but crushing blow for them, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just when you have a guy who's has a new start to his career. He's on a new team for the first time ever in his NBA career, at least, and he's excited about the future. He's with the coach he wants to be with. He's surrounded by the players he wants to be with. He's in the city he wants to be in. And 5 minutes in, his first season's pretty much in the books.
Wait, can we like do one of those like stupid stats like when in baseball players like their first like 5 games when they homer what they're on pace to do? If Gordon Hayward didn't play this year, we could do one of these annoying stats. Then he would have made I think like $6 million per minute that he played this season. How about that? Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that's funny. So it's not that funny, but it sucks. I mean, it's awful. I think there's a chance he can come back from what I've read, what I've heard from the experts and reports I've heard from, beat writers and whatnot. It's a clean fracture. There's minimal tissue damage, if any. I don't know what that means, but it's a good thing. So realistically, he could be back by the start of the playoffs, which would be great. It'd be awesome. I didn't have the Celtics winning this year anyway. I didn't have them going to the finals this year anyway. I think they have that next year. This is kind of a year in which everyone gets acclimated with each other. And the worst part is this stunts that. Your key player, your centerpiece, or one of two of your centerpieces is out for the season, and you have to adjust on the fly because of it. And now the Celtics need to rely on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown more than they already had to. Both of them started yesterday.
They looked great, man. I'm telling you, they looked really good. And they're now that's what it's gonna have to be with Hayward out. I love that lineup of all those just perimeter defending guys. And you stick Horford in the middle, who can shoot too. So that really spaces the floor for Kyrie Irving. But it looks great. But now they just lack one wing guy, but they've still got another two really young ones, and we'll see what they do with the starting lineup. But I think it's a good move for not for him to get hurt, but for them to start all these like wing guys to face the floor.
I mean, they have plenty of depth at that position, at the three, and that's the most versatile position in the game. So I think Marcus Smart's probably the next guy up, and maybe you have Kyrie, Marcus, Jaylen, Jason, and Horford. And, they're undersized, but they're always undersized, and they were undersized with Gordon Hayward already, with that starting lineup at least. So they'll adjust. They'll still be a very good team. Like
but it also sets them back a good amount too, because Hayward, like say what you want, like he's that same position, but he's bigger. He's like 6'9", 6'10".
Yeah,
he's been in the league for a couple years. He was an all-star in a stacked West last year. He's a very good defender, and now you replace him with either a rookie or a second-year defending that position in the NBA, and who's in today's day and age, that position is really good at putting the ball on the floor and shooting threes. So it's a huge step back to get. I don't care how good these guys will be at defense when they get older. Right now, they're not nearly as good as Gordon Hayward. So that's the big step back. But Brad Stevens will figure it out.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they have one of the best coaches in the NBA, top 5 coach at least. And it'll be interesting to see what Kyrie does as well. That's another thing. They're going to have to rely on him a lot more. Will he be a 30 per game guy now? Is he going to take charge more than he would have if Gordon Hayward was healthy? It's just, yeah, the worst part is it just stunts their ability to grow together and to get acclimated. I'm not going to say that it's going to be a wasted season because of that. I think Hayward will find his way in, and he'll still have another offseason to kind of regain chemistry. But it's still a huge blow nonetheless. And back by the end of the season so they can potentially make some sort of playoff run.
The Cavs, man, they looked pretty good too. It was so awesome seeing Dwayne Wade back out there with LeBron, like for the first time in 5 years. Like that was sick. Also to see, not 5, like 4 years. To see like Jay Crowder in that lineup too. They've got their own combination of wing guys. And you know what it is? Maybe this will be huge for them because Thompson doesn't start now. He comes off the bench. You have Kevin Love at the 5, who's lost a lot of weight. He
JR comes off the bench too.
Yeah, he can really stretch the floor too. So the Cavs made their bench a lot better. So with D Rose and Wade, LeBron, Crowder, and Love, they're a lot smaller, a lot better defensively. So that could bode well for them too. And that spaces the floor more for LeBron as well. Like he's such a high basketball IQ. He'll pass to anyone cutting. Jay Crowder, Derrick Rose, Dwayne Wade, D Wade in that lineup too. He's still got a ton in the tank. He's 35, but look at him last year, 19 points per game. He was still showing like how good he can be. So the Cavs, I think, got better. Like they definitely did.
You think? I was just going to ask you that. It seems like it. I mean, at the very least, they have more depth. And once Isaiah comes back, I mean, he's a little bit of a step down from Kyrie, but he's still an elite point guard, at least offensively. So yeah, they added Dwayne Wade. JR's coming off the bench now. Tristan Thomas is coming off the bench. They added Jay Crowder as well. This is a team that's going to be very good this season. If they can get past any dysfunction that they may run into. I don't think they will. JR apparently isn't really all that pleased with coming off the bench. I'm sure Tristan Thompson isn't either. But their bench is going to be really good nonetheless. They also got Jeff Green, who's a decent little piece.
Yeah, he'll be good off the bench. Like there's just no pressure on a guy like him. Or now there's less pressure on a guy like Tristan Thompson or J.R. Smith, which I think will make them prosper more. Like these guys are going to be fighting for minutes now off the bench. They'll be playing with that chip on their shoulder, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, they'll be competitive within the team. I just, you know what, the Cavs, I think Tyronn Lue's not a very good coach. I think I don't like the dynamic there. I don't like how LeBron calls the shots every which way. They've won a championship because of it, kind of, but I don't know. I feel like there's gonna be some dysfunction there, something that they run into that they might not otherwise if they had better leadership from their head coach.
He needs more credit though than that. I mean, he's got way more control than David Blatt did, and that's why they won that title. I think if they had Blatt in 2015, they're not winning that. Or 2016. I don't think they're winning that. I thought
maybe
that was
not,
good.
But David Blatt's problem was also he wanted to be the head coach. Like it was his team. He was the coach. And the reason why he got fired was essentially because LeBron didn't want him to have as much power as he did. LeBron wanted that power. No?
Or the team just wanted more excellence out of it. And it's not just solely on that. They just thought that LeBron, I don't know, they wanted – Tyronn Lue's been on the record of like, you know, really running like a tighter ship out there. And he's respected there way more than Blatt was, and he relates to the players more. He's a better player.
Well, he's a former player. I think that plays into it. He's a former player, and he's probably respected by players more because he's been in the league and he's more familiar with the league. That doesn't mean he's a better coach though. And I feel like I feel like from the start there wasn't a good relationship. This is a separate discussion, but I feel like from the start there wasn't a good relationship with David Blatt. I don't think it was entirely his fault. I think to not blame LeBron at all for the way that went down.
I'm not blaming him at all. I'm just saying like that's like Tyronn Lue was a huge step up, and LeBron had a substantial part of it, but it wasn't completely all him.
What?
I think LeBron was a substantial part of it, but it wasn't completely all him that got him out.
It was. I think it was mainly all him. Yeah. If he wanted Blatt to stay, he would have stayed. He wanted to go though.
Either way, Tyronn Lue now has a way better lineup to work with, and I think he's made all the right moves as of now to move this team. And it's not LeBron that's putting the lineup on the floor every night. It's Tyronn Lue that writes it in. It's Tyronn Lue that makes the substitutions. And yeah, on the floor, LeBron runs things, and on the floor, like he's that point forward that's a great basketball mind that really executes the offense and does everything that this team has. But at the same time, like I don't know. I think that it's going to be another easy year for them in the East. I don't think the Wizards will be able to beat the Celtics again, just like last year. I hope they would because I love how the Wizards look, but realistically, they're just the same damn team as they were last year. And now Boston took a big step back with Hayward being out, so now it'll just be easier for the Cavs to get back to the finals. Did you check out all that Rockets-Warriors game after? Let's take a little quick look at the West, because the West got 1,000 times more exciting this offseason. Did you?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it, yeah.
Dude, they played 8 guys last night. They got P.J. Tucker in free agency, which was good, and Luke Mbah from the Clippers, which was good as well. And obviously Eric Gordon, the 6th man of the year, but who was killing it. But they only played 8 guys. And the thing that stuck out about me when I was looking at like this team, I was looking at like a press conference from Mike D'Antoni asking like, oh, is someone going to be like ball dominant, like whatever? And he said, you literally can't have too many great wing players on the court at one time in the NBA. And that's just that pace and space offense that he runs. It's definitely been a staple of who he is and how he's evolved this relationship into the league. And he was saying like, I'm not worried about it at all. I'm super pumped to say that no matter what, when I'm coaching this team, at least there's always going to be at least one Hall of Famer on the floor at a time. And that's sick for them. They looked awesome last night. Chris Paul, he didn't really like stuff the stat sheet too much in the point column, but when you literally have guys that can shoot everywhere else on the court with you, with the exception of Clint Capella, that's huge for a guy like Chris Paul. And also like a guard like Harden who can help, just score whenever he wants, probably the best like one-on-one scorer in the NBA. That's huge for this team. I really like the Rockets this year. They're going to be a top 4 seed. I think they're definitely going to be top 3.
So you're not worried about their lack of depth. They're not going to be able to play 8 deep every single game.
No, yeah, I know, but they've got some like other guys. They only just chose to play just 8 guys yesterday. They've got other guys off their bench that they can.
Not really. Who they got? Tariq Black. Is he really that special of a player? They lost a lot of guys going after Chris Paul and making these additions.
They lost Beverly and Sam Decker. Beverly was the only real main
That was
one.
a big piece, though. He was a big piece, and they got Chris Paul in return. Obviously, it outweighs that. But when they go down the stretch, you got a 34-year-old Chris Paul, and you can't play all these guys 30 minutes a game. You gotta get some.
Sure you can.
It's not going to keep up. People are going to get hurt. That happens in basketball. I don't know.
They've got like a solid rotation of about like 10 guys right now.
They played 8 yesterday, though.
I know they played 8 yesterday, but Nene will be back. He'll be playing. Like they've definitely got some. Yeah, obviously they lost a little bit of their depth, but they definitely got way better with Chris Paul.
Yeah, they're a more talented team. It's not like they're going to challenge the Warriors down the stretch, though. And come playoff time, guess what? Every team's going 8 deep. Like it's not, you don't have that advantage there. So you got to think, in the middle of the season, KD will take a night off. Steph's going to take a night off. Clay's going to take a night off. Draymond. They're going to be more well rested heading into playoff time than this Rockets team, I think, top to bottom, which is definitely going to be a factor. You need to have well rested guys.
No, well, everyone's well rested now because the season.
I know, but game one, going 8 deep, game 1. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's the Warriors who want to start out hot, and it worked out. They won by 1 point. You can't keep that up, though, and there's going to be some fatigue problems if they keep doing that.
They're definitely not going to keep doing it. I think you're reading into it a little bit too much here. They're definitely going to play more guys as the days go on. D'Antoni,
he played 8 deep in game 1. I don't think it's reading too much into it.
No, he's just literally rolling with the punches and going with the flow and seeing what's going. That's how D'Antoni is. They have a deep team. They'll be fine. Like they've got guys to come off the bench. Like things are okay with them. What about the team I'm really looking at is the Thunder. The Thunder really have potential to be a top 4 team with Paul George and Melo, and not even just Melo, but Melo as in the 4th best player on his team, Melo, which is crazy, or the 3rd best, excuse me.
Yeah, who's the third?
Yeah, he never look. Melo's a superstar, but he's not like if he's the best player on your team, like he'll never win. Like unless he has like a few players on his team that are as good as him, like in 2009 with the Nuggets. And yeah, when you go to the Knicks, a horrible ownership and all that stuff, it's tough because it's just a losing culture and nothing. No matter who the Knicks have, they've always stunk these last 5 years. So Melo never really stood too much of a chance there. Now, as the 3rd best player, people are going to start to love Carmelo Anthony again. He's gotten too much shit. Like I've criticized him too, but people give him way too much shit. And now being the 3rd best player, That's going to be huge for him. Working from the high post with Russ and with Paul George, that team is going to be the most fun to watch, in my opinion. It's really.
Do you think he'll be fine with the role that he's going to have?
He knows the role he has, and I think he's fine with it because that's why he waived his no trade clause for it. I like the Thunder a lot. I like, obviously, the Warriors are going to be fun to watch. The Rockets, the Spurs, those top 4 teams are all so talented.
Doesn't matter. Does not matter.
It matters. It's going to make the West playoffs a lot more fun. The regular season.
No, it won't. The Warriors are still it's going to be a cakewalk for the Warriors, no matter who they play. It's their second year together with this core. They're going to be even better than they were last season. And they're going to find their way to the finals again and win again. That's a reality. The Thunder have an amazing roster. It's
going to be way more competitive now. Way more than last year.
Yeah, between the Thunder and the Rockets. The Warriors are still at the top of the heap.
The Warriors wouldn't have had it that easy last year if Kawhi Leonard doesn't get hurt. And that's a fact.
Okay, it's their second year together. So you got to agree they're gonna be playing better this season than they did last year. They're gonna have more chemistry. It's not like anyone's past their prime. They're all in their prime. It's gonna be a cakewalk. Doesn't matter who they play. The Thunder have a great little team. The Rockets made that Chris Paul addition. They're looking really good this year. In most years, those two teams are probably the favorites, or it's up between them. The Spurs are the Spurs. We know what to expect from them. But the Warriors, they're the Warriors. We don't even have to say more than that. They have an unbelievably stacked roster that is going to go unchallenged throughout the playoffs. They're going to win. They'll win the finals in 4 or 5 games this season.
I don't think so.
Yes, yeah, they will.
Nope.
Maybe
I disagree.
Maybe 6 tops. You understand how good this team is, right? Like,
yeah, I do, but I think you're really discrediting the rest of the West, and you're acting like they're going to get there in 12 games, which is just not the case.
I'm not saying 12 games, but I don't think they lose more than 4 games on their way to the finals.
All right. I mean, yeah, that's a fair assumption to make. I think each of these teams are way more competitive, and they're going to give them a lot more of a problem come playoff time. But I mean, it's too early to tell anyway. We don't know. No,
it's not. No, it's not. We know we know it's going to be Cleveland and Golden State. Stop being devil's advocate. You know that. I know that. Everyone knows that. It's going to be Golden State and Cleveland, like it has been for the past 3 years. And some people will eat it up. Others, like myself, will get sick of it and say, "Okay, we've seen this. Can we please move on?" That's just the way it's going to go. It's going
to. What do you want from it though? Like, that's my thing. Like, the NBA is literally.
I want superstars to have the drive to stay with a team instead of joining forces with an already super team. I'm never going to get over that. Kevin Durant will always be a chump, in my opinion, for what he did, and I'm not going to enjoy watching it because it was cheap. It was a cheap move by someone who wanted to take the easy way out, and he's done nothing but prove that he's a softie since he's been there. He's done nothing but prove that. All
right. Have your opinion about Kevin Durant, but don't sound like a 50-year-old.
I'm not sounding like a 50-year-old. This is a legitimate criticism. The guy made a burner account to defend himself on Twitter. He's a little bitch. He's a softie. That's the reality of the situation. He proved that by joining forces with a team that just set the single season wins record, and he proved that by exposing himself as someone who creates burner accounts because he can't deal with criticism.
Have your problems with Kevin Durant. Have your problems with Kevin Durant, but don't completely piss on the whole entire NBA when it clearly got way more that's the exciting and entertaining.
That's the league we live in. That's the way it is. So it's not exciting. It's not entertaining.
There have been super teams literally throughout the whole.
Okay,
NBA
they haven't done it. They haven't gone about it the way that Kevin Durant and the Golden State Warriors went about it. The Golden State Warriors, before they got Durant, I had no problem with them. They built through the draft. That's pretty damn respectable. You look at the Thunder when they had KD, they built that through the draft. The Spurs built that through the draft. That's the way to go about it. Kevin Durant, the second best player in the NBA, joining the most talented roster to ever be assembled already, is weak. It's soft. It's a guy who should not have had to do that. It's someone who could have stayed in OKC and beat the Golden State Warriors in the playoffs. And I know I've done this
right. He didn't think that. He didn't think that.
What? Yeah, because he's soft. Because he didn't think he didn't have the drive to challenge himself and do that. Because he is soft. He doesn't have the chip on his shoulder that other people have. And when he did that, and people started calling him out for this bullshit, he tried to take this path of, okay, I'm going to embrace the villain role. Guess what? That was so disingenuous. He wants people to like him. You know how we know that? Because he had burner accounts on Twitter to defend himself, anonymously defend himself on Twitter because he is a softie. And if you cannot acknowledge that Kevin Durant is a softie, I don't know what else you need. You need to see a video of him crying in the locker room after being asked a tough question. Do you need to? I don't like. He's soft. He's a soft player. I don't have a lot of respect for the person Kevin Durant. Hell of a talent. One of the best talents that we've seen of our lifetime. Not denying that. Because of that, he should have the competitive drive to be like, you know what, I want to do this by myself, with the team that drafted me, instead of hop on the bandwagon and join an already established dynasty. It was soft, and to me, it ruined the NBA. For me, you apparently it didn't for you, but you're an NBA fanboy, and a lot of your NBA fanboy friends feel the same way that you do. But the reality is that it is a soft move, and it doesn't happen anywhere but in the NBA. Rant over.
All right. Well, I think trying to look at positively and see that a lot of teams in the West got a lot better, and it's going to be a lot more difficult for the Warriors to get there now. Definitely.
You know what? And if Kevin Durant stayed in OKC, Paul George could have gone to the Clippers or something like that. Melo could have gone to the Lakers, and it would have been even better. So the league would be a better place if Kevin Durant did not join the Golden State Warriors. To me, that's undeniable for NBA fanboys or non-NBA fanboys.
I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree on this one.
I'm disagreeing to disagree. You're wrong.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll do MLB playoffs around
Still there? Did you freeze up?
Around the next hour, around the next segment, excuse me.
You just froze up there for about 10 seconds.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. But
what are your final words?
Playoffs on the other side. We want to remind you to
wait. I missed that. What you were just saying. Did you have a rebuttal to what I said? Because you completely cut out.
I said that I'm excited for the season because I think a lot of teams are still a lot better this year, and I think the Thunder got a million times better. I think the Rockets got a shit ton better, and I think the Spurs are still the Spurs and locked up their guys. And the West is going to be extremely fun to watch, no matter if it's already heavily in favor of the Warriors. And I think if you don't really if you're really that pessimistic about it, then that's a personal problem for you.
It's not a personal problem. It's a fact. It's a personal fact for me.
Your problem is a personal fact.
It's not. The fact that it's a problem in the NBA is that's a fact. It's a problem in the NBA. Fact. All right. Let's move on. KD stayed in Oklahoma City, Paul George could have gone somewhere else in the West, and it would have been way better, and the Golden State wouldn't have run away with it. It still would have been a really competitive Western Conference.
That's competitive.
It's not. It's going to be Golden State. Mark my words. Golden State will be in the finals this year, and they will win the finals. Hot take. You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. That's not fun. We know the regular season's meaningless. All right, go to do the line.
Next segment, we'll talk MLB playoffs. But before that, I want to remind you to tune into 91.7 FM's football broadcast this weekend. I think of football taking on St. John Fisher, myself, Connor Weingarten, J.J. Klein on the call for that. But let's talk a little MLB playoffs. The Yankees yesterday, again, down 4-0, beat the Astros. Now they're tied at 2 games apiece. Today, Game 5, might end up deciding the series, a massive game here. The Yankees they're so likable. They're so tough. Their bullpen has been with Canley and Robertson and Chapman. All those guys have been phenomenal. Even Adam Warren's been really good. Down 4-0 yesterday, showed that they don't quit. Won that one. This team's tough, man. They are a tough team. You're not beating them more than once. They've won now 5 playoff games at home, or 4, excuse me. They're 4-0 at home in the postseason. Today looking to go to 5. And I don't know where this team just captured lightning in a bottle, because I didn't think they were that good midway through the season. And now they're really going for it. They're so impressive. I expected the Astros to kill them. I expected the Indians to kill them. And now we're at this state where it looks like they have a very good chance of going into the World Series and playing the Dodgers. Do they have a chance to win the World Series? I'm not sure. They might. It's going to be a hell of a World Series.
Yeah. They definitely have a chance. It comes down to Game 5. No hot take there. At Yankee Stadium, whoever wins this game's win the series. I think most people can agree with that.
I
But
I'm not, I won't fully agree with that, but it'll all signs will point.
it's more important for the Yankees than it is the Astros.
Yeah,
Obviously, you're going back to Houston, and anything could happen. They got Verlander, they got Keuchel and Verlander on the mound, and the Yankees have not hit either of those guys very well. So I'd say the advantage is towards the Astros matchup wise. But when you have a team that came back from a 2-0 deficit in the ALDS, was down 2-0 in this series, and has now tied it up after an 8-0 victory or whatever it was, and come from behind win down 4 runs. You kind of look at a team like that as a team of destiny, someone who's kind of caught lightning in a bottle. Are they the most talented roster? No, they got a great young core, and they'll be good for years to come. But no one expected them to get to this point. It's thoroughly impressive, and it's a team that has a lot of balls, and that's really, really likable. And that's coming from a Red Sox fan. I really love this Yankees roster. They're a team that you can't possibly hate. And I think most of the time you hate fan bases, not teams themselves. So the Yankees, they're a great team, and baseball is better when they are good. And we've seen that from the spike in ratings this season in the playoffs. So yeah, they've been unbelievable. They've been really good, and they've shown up when it really matters. And Yankee Stadium during the playoffs is one of the greatest places, it seems like. I want to go to a game there really badly. But yeah, this is a very good team. And again, it comes down to Game 5. I think whoever wins that game is coming away with the series victory. Do I think the Yankees have a chance against the Dodgers? Baseball is so unpredictable. No one expected the Yankees to get this far. So it's really anyone's guess. It seems like the Dodgers are running away with that series. They're up 3-0. So I don't know. The only problem is the Yankees will be without a DH. Gary Sanchez will be behind the plate. I think he's somewhat of a liability. He's proven that this season, this playoffs. So I don't know. It's gonna be fun to watch this series play out, the ALCS and the World Series. It's anyone's guess. It's really just silly to predict baseball, in my opinion.
I think that the ball is just completely in the Astros' court, like right here, because Game 6 you'll have Keuchel, Game 7 you'll have Verlander. So those 2 games are really going to get bailed out. So the Yankees have to win the night because I think losing the night, they're not squeaking both of those games. So they have to win the night. The Yankees' only chance.
You have Keuchel tonight.
Oh, they have Keuchel tonight? Keuchel's on the hill tonight?
Keuchel's on the hill tonight, and then Verlander's on for Game 6.
Oh, so, wow, so, that's huge.
Yeah, so if Keuchel can pitch a gem, I mean Tanaka's on the mound too, and Tanaka, last time I checked, he's been doing pretty well this playoffs. These two
met in the 2015 wildcard game.
What?
These 2 met in the 2015 wildcard game.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a really fun matchup. I know I'll be watching it. 5:00 game. So I love the early games. It will lead right into the Celtics game too, which is nice.
The Celtics play tonight again too.
Yeah, they play the Bucks.
The Celtics play tonight.
What?
Who do they play?
You broke up there. Yeah, they're playing the Celtics are playing tonight, 7:30 tip in Boston. Gordon Hayward didn't get the opening game in Boston, which another bad thing, but that's besides the point. Anything could happen. I'm predicting baseball because it's such an unpredictable, especially at this stage. It comes down to the starting pitching, and I think there's a lot more pressure on Tanaka than there is Keuchel. Tanaka has been good. Club. I think we're going to see another really close game. I think we're going to see a John, can you hear me?
I think you broke up there for a little bit. I think the Dodgers actually. I think it's their year. I really do.
The Dodgers. Yeah, they're proving it.
I think they're not really talked about much at all.
Because they've always been a team that's gotten to the NLCS and LDS and just has been able to finish the job. They're up 3-0 right now. The series with the Cubs is pretty much done. They'll be making it to the World Series, the NL representatives. It's going to be a good. It's about time. This is a team that's had one of the top rosters in the past, like each of the past 5 years. So,
yeah, man. And this year it's different. I feel like this year is actually different for them. 52-9 in the 61 game stretch. Darvish has been incredible. Obviously, Kershaw pitching staff's great. The bullpen's been phenomenal, and obviously the lineup with guys like Bellinger and Turner and even Puig, like they're really carrying their load.
You're breaking up again.
I really think that's
difficulties with John. John, you there?
Yeah, I'm
right.
I'm sticking with the Dodgers though.
You're sticking with the Dodgers? Okay, yeah, you broke up there for a little bit. But yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. The Dodgers have made it this far though. I think they have as good of a roster as the Astros, definitely a better roster than the Yankees. And who has home field advantage this season? Is it the NL or the AL? Who in the wild card game?
I think it would be the Dodgers because they have a better record. That's how they're doing it now.
No. Is that how they're doing it now?
Yeah, it is. They changed it.
When did they change that?
They changed that. This was the first year they're doing it.
Okay, then if it's the Dodgers, then I mean, advantage them. They have as good of a roster as anyone. Decent bullpen, good starting rotation, and that's been a team that's had some balls this playoffs too, and has won close games and walk off fashion. Even Justin Turner the other day, that was unbelievable off of John Lackey.
Right.
So yeah, it'll be fun to watch. It's gonna be great to see this play out. I love the MLB playoffs. I don't think it gets enough exposure. I don't think it gets enough credit. But playoff baseball, I think, is as good as any playoff sport. And that might be a hot take. Some people might not agree with that. I love playoff baseball. I think it's the atmosphere is incredible. All right, quick break. Just a reminder, listen into Pigskin Press Pass Friday nights, 980 WCAP out of Lowell. You listen on the TuneIn app, 980 WCAP. I'll be talking high school football in the area, the Merrimack Valley area. It's a pretty fun show. I really enjoy it. It's I think it's good to give these schools exposure, these teams exposure. And it's football. Who doesn't love football? And it's also competitive football. So even if you're not into Merrimack Valley football or Massachusetts football, it's better than upstate New York high school football. So it's definitely a step up. So listen to that Friday nights after the UMass Lowell men's hockey game, probably coming on air about 9:30 to 11. So make sure you tune in. All right. The NFL. A lot of things happening.
Dude, it sucks. It's awful. It is brutal. The NFL is it's just brutal, man. It's so bad. I've never seen it this bad in my life. I really haven't. Now the Patriots even falling off too. There are no good teams. There are no consistently good teams. You got the fucking Steelers one week, losing to the Jags at home by a shit ton, then going into KC the next week, who's supposed to be the only good team in the NFL, and beating them like that. There's no good team. You want to know how the NFL is bad? The Eagles I would say the Eagles are okay. It's a good football team, like above average, like good football team, solid, and they're the best team in the NFC.
Yeah, they're the Super Bowl favorites out there. Isn't Wentz like an MVP favorite?
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, no, it's not good. You have a lot of teams that are just underperforming right now, which you never want to see. And it really is the Patriots throwing off the NFL's equilibrium too, in a way. Actually helping out the equilibrium of the NFL. There's no front runner. There's no clear-cut favorite in the NFL. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. There's a lot of bad football though. And that's something I don't like to see. I want to see one or two teams that are playing sound. And with the injury to Aaron Rodgers, it's even that much worse this season. The Packers, I don't care who the hell they get in free agency. No one's going to take that team and do what Aaron Rodgers would do. They're no longer a Super Bowl favorite, no matter who they get, unless they trade for like maybe a Jimmy Garoppolo and he pans out, which I don't see happening. So it's going to be interesting to see how, these final 10, 11 weeks go in the NFL. My prediction, I think the Patriots will figure it out. This past week, they were without Eric Rowe and Stephon Gilmore, so they had to rely on their fourth and fifth cornerbacks. That's why Josh McCown looked like Aaron Rodgers. So, it kind of sucks. I think a lot of teams will figure it out, though. And if anything, it'll make for more exciting playoffs.
Yeah,
And
but
your
like,
Raiders too.
like everyone sucks. Like, yeah, the Raiders were supposed to be good too, and their corners are banged up. They're already below average, and also it's not even as much the corners. Their linebackers have been brutal. Like they
Do
just
you like
signed Navarro Bowman. Great.
what about
Like
Jack Del Rio?
I like Jack Del Rio. It's not his fault. Defensive schemes there. Ken
A lot of
Norton
people hate him.
Jr. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Ken Norton Jr. is like pretty bad. Their defensive coordinator, but I mean, it doesn't help when you have linebackers who don't know how to make like open field tackles for just basic screen pass plays and whatever that don't even know where to be at. That's why they've been bad, man. They lost to San Diego and they lost to Baltimore, who are two very bad football teams. Raiders now have the same amount of losses they had all last season. I mean, like it's all but over for their year, unless they miraculously beat the Chiefs tomorrow night. Then it's all downhill from here, man. It's like the rest of the NFL is just so bad. I can't even. And now Aaron Rodgers going down. It makes the NFC that much worse. Who's gonna win the NFC North by? Who's gonna win the NFC North by default this year? It's gonna be the Vikings with Case Keenum or Sam Bradford. Like no one won. I don't want to watch them in the playoffs. Okay, yeah, the Seahawks. Okay, yeah, they're okay. But the NFC East, the Eagles are the best team. No one wants the Eagles as the best team. I think right now we're looking at an Eagles, Panthers, Seahawks, and Vikings division winners. Like no one wants that.
Yeah, you broke up there for a while, so I didn't catch a lot of that. But move on. This weekend, Pats, Falcons, Super Bowl rematch. Two teams that are underperforming this season, getting back together. And it's in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, no, it's in New England. I think it's in New England. And yeah, it should be a fun one. I think we'll see a lot out of these teams. I was expecting last week to be kind of the game where the Pats got it together and got to the point where they should be. And this game is in New England, 8:30. But maybe that's this game. Maybe it's the nostalgia from that Falcons Super Bowl win, that Patriots Super Bowl win over the Falcons. I'm worried though. This is a really talented offense against a defense that's just been really underperforming. Hopefully Stephon Gilmore's back and Eric Rowe for the Patriots' sake. But yeah, it's going to be a tough matchup. And anyone who's looking at that Dolphins game in which they came back from the 17-point deficit and beat the Falcons, that's not a legitimate sample size of what to expect from this team. Matt Ryan's still a very talented quarterback. Julio Jones is still a top 3 wide receiver, and Devontae Freeman's a top 5 running back in the NFL.
Both teams they're both pathetically inconsistent. Both of them pathetically inconsistent
this season. Yeah,
like this.
Yeah,
line,
absolutely.
This game, I don't even want to know what the line for this game is, but it's something I don't even want to touch.
The line is New England minus 3.5.
Yeah,
which is I'd probably take New England. I feel like they're going to win this game. I just gut feeling. It's a home game against the Falcons, which kind of turning into a rivalry. Any team you play in the Super Bowl is going to be a rival somewhat to some degree. So I'm going to take the Patriots in that game. I'll take them with the spread, 3.5. I think they'll win by a score or 2. At least I'm hoping that's the case. I don't know. One of these days they're due for a game in which they win like they should. And they didn't have that performance against the Jets. They're still 4-2 though, and they're still banged up. They're still getting healthy and they're still getting acclimated with each other. And the offensive line is still, learning. They've underperformed. It's been a shit season for everyone. I'm hoping this weekend we'll see some teams kind of get over that hump so that we actually have some good football to look forward to. That hasn't been the case so far. And it's making for a somewhat unpleasant season.
Yeah, it definitely has. And I mean, like, I don't even care about like NFL Sunday as much as I used to. It's sad, but it's just true.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with playoff baseball here. That's kind of at the forefront. And I got Red Zone on, but it's just not the games. A lot of them are really close. We had a ton of close games last weekend, but still, you want to see good football teams play, and you haven't really seen a lot of good football.
And I want to see consistency too. But that's going to do it for us here at the Jon and Lebo Show. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and each of us on boneheadpicks.com to check that out for the content they post there. And we'll see you guys next week.